and welcome back to Controlling Ideas. Today we're joined by Emily Wazlak, who is the founder and CEO of Shine Registry. This is a platform for female founders to ask for startup needs in the style of a wedding registry. You can ask for a gravy boat when you're getting married. Why not ask for office supplies and network connections when you're starting a business? That's what Shine Registry does. Her company is really changing the way that communities show up for people that they care about, and it's reimagining the relationships between women and ambition. You can actually learn a load more about this in her TED Talk. Pre-pandemic, I will say, if you're wondering about why there was a crowd there. Pre-pandemic TED Talk. And today, Emily, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Emily, one of the things I loved listening to in your TED Talk was where the actual idea for Shine Registry came about. In storytelling, we talk about the inciting incident, which is the moment that people are the hero of our story takes action and does something about a challenge or something that they see wrong in society. They stand up and they take action. What for you was that moment?
Yeah, for me, it started a few years ago when a friend of mine was getting married and another friend was starting a business at the same time. And for the friend who was getting married, everyone in our friend group knew exactly what to do almost immediately. We were organizing a brunch. We had the bridal shower, the bachelorette party, the wedding itself, another brunch, lots of brunch, really. But for the friend who was starting a business, while we were aware that she was going through a huge life milestone, that it was something that was really difficult and challenging and exciting, we didn't really have any traditions to fall back on to show her that we cared and that we supported her. And in turn, she also didn't have any ways of comfortably asking us for help and for support, though we kind of sensed that she needed it. And so there was a moment where we were all sitting around in these matching tank tops at my friend's bachelorette party when I looked over at my friend starting a business and I was like, why aren't we showing up for you in this way? Like, why don't we have, maybe matching tank tops wouldn't have been the most supportive thing to do for her at that time, but maybe they would have. And that's really where the core of the idea and where I started thinking about how do we use traditions that we already have to celebrate people in their personal lives, and how do we translate that into ways that we can show up for people in their professional lives too.
That is fantastic. I love like how that core idea just came about through that story. Once you had that core idea, like what did you start imagining, like the ideal world, like the ideal society that would be utilizing like Shine Registry? What would that look like?
That's a great question. Yeah, for us, I think it looks like a few things. It looks like women having equal access to the resources and the support that's needed to bring new ideas into the world. And it also looks like communities showing up for people with as much enthusiasm and as much pomp and circumstance as you would for something like a wedding or like a baby. And we're not here to like replace baby showers or weddings or anything like that. I think like really what it looks like is more parties, which, you know, I hope folks can get behind. But yeah, I think it looks like using the muscle memory that we already have for the ways that we show up in people's personal lives to show up in their professional lives as well.
I love that. You do mention parties right now, and you know, we are recording this in pandemic times, so parties right now may not be the go-to thing. So how have you been able to pivot during this time and also support businesses that may be struggling at this moment with everything that's going on?
Yeah, we've started hosting virtual business showers, which has been really fun. Really, it's led us in some unexpected directions. We're really excited about the fact that the sense of urgency around supporting small businesses has really gone up in this time, and we're really trying to do what we can to capture that as much as possible. One of the things that's been unexpected is like we've been able, I think, because everyone's gone digital, to work with folks that otherwise we wouldn't have any physical connection to. And so we hosted a virtual business shower for Kweza Craft Brewery out in Rwanda. It turns out the first craft brewery in Rwanda is also the first craft brewery to be started by women. I mean, it's the first craft brewery, so like the fact that women are starting it is detail. But we hosted a virtual business shower for them with over 100 attendees from all over the world who were really enthusiastic about all the like small and big things that they were asking for on their registry profile, and also were able to sort of interact in this digital space in a way that I don't think would have been possible, or that I don't think, I don't think folks have been like as enthusiastic about finding and those creative ways of showing up. But now that's what we have, and so we're making the best of it. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the story of that, like the brewery in Rwanda. That's incredible. So like what for you that, like, I mean, that's a great example, but what for you is like your favorite example of like somebody utilizing Shine Registry for their business?
Well, I love knots on bow ties. So Shine Registry started in Pittsburgh. So we have a lot of folks from Pittsburgh who are using our site. And knots on bow ties is just an incredible small business run by Nisha Blackwell, who up until recently was primarily making bow ties. But once the pandemic started, she pivoted really quickly into making masks as well, and was able to use Shine Registry as part of her contingency planning in that. And I think one of the things that I love about what we're building is we're making it really easy for folks to show up and support people. So you could do that with money, but you could also do that with social media engagement. You can also do that by making strategic network connections. You can also do that by tagging people's products online. And I think Nisha's a great example of someone who has an existing network that's extremely engaged, and she's been able to really leverage that to find further support and lift up. She does a really great job as well of lifting up other businesses that are in the sustainable fashion space. And so when you go to her profile, you see that she's not just asking for folks to support her work, but she's also asking for folks to explore other folks who are committing to good business practices the way that she is too.
I love that. It really does seem like that you yourself, you're finding a lot of joy and passion out of like the success of others as a result of this.
I really,
awesome.
yeah.
I can see you kind of lighting up as you're talking about it.
I honestly, like, Shine Registry is just a very elaborate way for me to meet and talk to extremely interesting people. And all of our users on our site are just like incredible. They're doing incredible things. And so I feel really, really fortunate to be able to do what I can to support them. And I mean, it's been a really hard few months with the pandemic, but it's also been I've never seen better, like more extreme displays of strength than what some of these folks are doing. And so it's been really just like a blessing to be a part of that as much as we can.
You mentioned like some of the challenges that you're facing now with the pandemic and everything going on, but you know, what are the top challenges that you're facing really getting your story out there, especially nowadays?
I think, I really miss in-person events, and I miss being able to connect with people that way. I think there's a lot, I think in particular, I miss, just hanging out at a cheese plate at some networking event and meeting people at random that way. But, I'm really just trying to stay positive and we're not a business with a storefront. We haven't been affected that way. So in a lot of ways, like we're doing okay. The cheese plates can hold off for a little while longer in our case. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Well, hopefully, we'll be able to get over all of this anyway. But for now, like what can we look forward to from Shine Registry?
We're relaunching the site, which is pretty big. I mean, we're getting ready to do a pretty large relaunch that we're really excited about. That's going to include a lot of feature updates, a lot of big improvements that our users have been asking for, that folks who have been fulfilling things on profiles have been asking for. So that's coming up soon, and we're really excited. One, because a lot of the features are going to really directly benefit folks who have profiles on the site, but it's also going to there are a few things that are going to open us up to be able to work with more partners that are excited and enthusiastic about supporting small business owners right now.
And one final question from me, aside from signing up to Shine Registry themselves, any advice for any startup founders that you would like to give?
Ooh, find your community and love them fiercely. There is so much that's so hard about being an entrepreneur and about bringing a new idea into the world. But there are a lot of people who want to support and want to celebrate the work that you're doing. So hold on to them, create the space for them to show up for you when you need it. And, create the space for you to show up for them as well when you can.
I love that. One thing I always talk about in some of our storytelling classes is like, when you're actually, before you go out mass market and like going out to people, the best people that you can turn to make sure that you're telling a compelling story are your community, like are your immediate network, because they're the best people to like really give you positive input and advice. And I think as well, that oftentimes I talk to so many businesses where their first customer is usually, somebody that they know. And, you know, that is going to help them like just build from there. It's a great starting point. So I really love that. That's a great one. With that, Emily, I know that you're exceptionally busy. I just want to thank you again. We're going to link to Shine Registry from here. Again, here is the TED Talk, the pre-pandemic TED Talk. Emily, when she emailed me, she made sure to include pre-pandemic TED Talk. Uh, Thank you so much, Emily, and very much appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.